Hey, let those notifications go out. Yes, we are on YouTube this Wednesday. Okay. Yes, I going back. Remember, Wednesday is toss-up day. If you don't see the Let's Just Chat here on the YouTube channel, check Instagram. Okay. If I'm not live on Instagram, check over here. Okay. So we got, oh my goodness, some important things to just. So let's let the notifications go out. And I'm going to because we don't want to be too predictable, chosen ones. Remember that. Yeah, we don't want to be too predictable because the enemy already tried to play head games this morning as I was trying to get these videos on the web. But we got around that. Yeah. The real talk videos. We'll get to that here in just a moment. Okay, we'll get there. We will get to all of that. Let me get these formalities out of the way, shall we? Okay, thank you. Yes, I am Michelle Dickey, your host for CHA's Let's Just Chat show, streaming on the YouTube channel Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance, where trauma healing and spiritual growth are front and center while combating radio frequency for healthier living. Trauma healing and spiritual growth occur with God wisdom, basic scientific facts, tried and true techniques, and more here and at CHAAcademyBTBW.com. That link is listed below. Some of you may need to copy and paste the link to view what CHAAcademyBTBW.com offers to help you level up your trauma healing and spiritual growth. That's right, what it's all about. And remember, for those who don't know, and those who might need this reminder, that the courses, you got the option of the one-time payment or 5 monthly installments, whatever works best for you. And then the memberships, you have the option of monthly or annually. And with the annual membership, you save 25%. And that grants you access to our booming community forum where we are active. That's right. And I am going to get to y'all sometime today. If not today, it'll definitely be tomorrow. Had some things that we had to get done. So for those who are interested in learning more about radio frequency and how it's used for mind control and autonomic nervous system manipulation, join us. That's part of our combat against it for healthier living. Okay, so welcome. Join us on this journey for healthier living and getting God's wisdom. Because remember, God says, I will not have you ignorant to the enemy's devices. And this is all part of it. God says he's not going to have us ignorant to what's going on out here. And I'm figuring out more connection about how that radio frequency and all the metal toxin are circulating, not just through the air, but through the air conditioner. Aha! So, a lot of things. And then I start to notice, because the radio frequency symptoms and the radio frequency behaviors, I'm sitting here going, okay, and that it's used by narcissists, obviously. And so narcissists are toxic. And if you hear, that is the wind. That is the wind. I had to bring my basil plant in. I looked outside and I was like, holy moly. And so it wasn't that loud outside my door until we got up here to go live. Because there's cracks, right? There's enough leeway around the door for some of that stuff to try and get in. Particles. Think about it. Because we know they manipulate the weather, but can only do so to an extent. And then also think about the low vibration of the wind hitting the door. That's frequency. All right. But the narcissists are the ones using this radio frequency for manipulation, obviously, right? Oh, yeah. Yeah. get people's autonomic nervous system, the ANS, get it numbed so they become more accident prone and stay trauma bonded to the world and keep living in fear. And because we also know that, remember y'all, this is my master's in forensic toxicology. Yeah, God did not have me get that to sit on it. I now know he had me get that for this very reason, to combat that RF for healthier living and to bring you all along on this journey, because I will tell you, it's amazing the things that God has revealed to me. And you can learn more about the hallucinatory nature of radio frequency, the salts on the inside of our body. Because I learned that one of the negative side effects of bath salts in that big green toxicology book I have showed y'all. For those who haven't seen it, check it out. All right, for this nice big green. Okay. Yes, right here. Learned all about metal toxicity and the symptoms associated with it. And having experienced a good bit of it ourselves, we now know why. Okay? And I learned about bath salts and how they are hallucinatory. Yeah, they will cause hallucination. So how much we hallucinate, how often we hallucinate, it's going to depend on how much salt we have on the inside of our body. That's right. And for how long. That's what, yeah, it depends. This is why we are on a detoxing journey, because we are aware of what's going on the inside, and we're paying attention to how our ANS is responding to things. Because how it responds to things lets me know where metal toxins are still located. If I feel the surge, which is a small dose of an electrical shock, that's right, it's designed to keep that area numbed. That's what that's supposed to do. And so we learn. But I also learned about the mirroring effect of radio frequency. Pretty fascinating. Because narcissists mirror our empathy back to us, to trauma bond us to them, right? Well, remember, the enemy had to get us trauma bonded to the world first. So when we were born into this fallen world, many of us were born to a Jezebel. And it's unfortunate, but yeah, many of us were. And, but see, God uses who God uses for a reason. So we're born into the fallen world, chosen ones, and we get trauma bonded to it first. And how did that happen? Through the mirroring effect of radio frequency. RF, that's right. Because once we become radiated and we have salts and sugars and more mucus, all that going on the inside, yeah, it keeps the body temperature on the inside too high. Okay, well, when that happens, then we can't think straight, right? Right, we don't know anything else until God awakens us and we start to make these connections. And so I'm not doing just the research. I'm going through it as we are connecting those dots now, because we already broke the trauma bond to the world. But our ANS, our autonomic nervous system, got a little bit re-traumatized, but we didn't, because we're already connected in mind, body, and spirit, which is spiritually, psychologically, and emotionally. Okay? That's right. That mind, body, and spirit connection is not physical. Has nothing to do with that. But the enemy thinks it does, or wants us to think it does. He knows better. He's just plain stupid, just like narcissists do. Plain dumb. That's what they love to do. Try to act like they don't know. Come on now. They do. At some point in their life, when they get older, they know. But they don't know this. They don't know that they're the one being mind controlled by radio frequencies. So it makes sense that the narcissists are just like them, toxic and addictive. Remember, we were. Through that trauma bond to them, that was the addiction to, and in turn to the abuse. We had to break that addiction. And so now we have another one to break for those who may need this. Yeah, we got to learn not to become dependent on external stimuli. God never intended for that to be. Just like he never intended for anything to be on the inside of our body in excess. And so, yeah, that includes that excess heat. You're going to hear more about this because God's revealing this stuff. And I have to tell you, it goes pretty deep. And we start paying attention to everything that's going on around us. So I'm like, okay, where's that source? Where's that coming from? Where's that one coming from? And so just today, I planned on going to run some errands. And now I understand why God says you don't have to go today. Wait. Because when I had to go rescue my basil plant, I was like, whoa. And then, of course, I made the joke. Because I was like, the enemy knows I'm not going to run. So, because I kept, because I got the potting thing, right? And they're not heavy at all, but they're self-watering pots, right? And so the soil that, right, when I got the basil plant, I just took that pot, the pot that it was in, and I just stuck the pot in here. So what happened when the wind blew this off, the windowsill out there, yeah, right, it comes off, but it goes right back on. Hold on a second. It goes right back on like it's supposed to. And because the plant came out of both pots. So I got my plant and I found my two pots. Right, so I'm like, okay, let's go rescue these things. But the pot that it came in is just that thin plastic pot, right? So the wind starts, and I'm like, okay, and I'm laughing. Because I'm like, I'm not going to run. It's going to stop eventually for me to get it. And so one of the maintenance guys was up there while he was laughing too. Oh, it was funny. It was funny. But anyhow, we got it, and we learned a lesson. Because, see, I want to get some additional things, but God needed me to learn that when they do this with the wind, that I need to bring these things in. Because we don't want to have to, right, we don't want to lose our fresh herbs. Come on now. Yeah, that's for healthier living right there. But the narcissists are just like radio frequency. And it's not a surprise because they're controlled by it. And they are emitting, we all are. When we are electrocuted with radio frequency, we are all carrying that. So wherever we go, again, as you'll learn on the Patreon channel, that whenever you bumped into someone and you got shocked, why do you think that is? Okay, because the salt that are on the inside of our body that we ingest and breathe in, yeah, those are metal toxins. And so, being the fact that metal salts is what a lot of people refer to them as, because as fellow warrior knows that you can use any metal and turn it into salt. And we are surrounded by metal, right? Exactly. You're not going to escape it, but this is why we are combating against it for healthier living. It's our movement here. And so as we continue on this detox journey, I have Real Talk with God's Wisdom video number 6 and 7 now available on the website for you all to download. Okay? And the way that we structure that is very similar to pre-recorded YouTube videos and Patreon videos. However, it's got a different intro. It's narcissistic abuse and trauma recovery with Real Talk with God's Wisdom. And this is part of it because that radio frequency is used to traumatize our ANS. And so as part of the process. And we have to get this knowledge so that you can break negative association so it can heal and stop perceiving things as a threat that are no longer a threat. As to reconnect the communication with the amygdala, or better yet, the amygdalae. There's two at the base of the skull here. Okay, the high frequency targets that area of the head. How do I know this? Experience. When that thing, the detector throws a temper tantrum, I pay attention to where my body's responding. Y'all, this is some serious heightened awareness. Okay? So I'm laying in bed there, kind of starting to wake up. God's waking me up. And because the ANS like to hallucinate, I can tell the difference between the real hallucination. That's part of that discernment that God needs us to have as well. And so he started with that. So I would know, okay. Because think about it. Your amygdala, okay, that is your fight, flight, or freeze house, right? Okay. So it is the interpreter for your ANS. If it loses the communication connection due to some form of injury, then the amygdala that got affected is going to misinterpret what the ANS is detecting. That's deliberate. The enemy knows this. And so, right, we get tricked into thinking that something is a threat that's not really a threat, which is what the enemy wants. Because remember, the enemy wants people living in fear. So if the enemy can keep people living in fear through the traumatization with radio frequency, then, yeah, they're going to buy on impulse. They're going to make poor decisions. Been there, done that more than once in my life. And then, we can be compulsive at the same time because you're not thinking straight. And the heat on the inside of your body is too high. And so it feels heavier than it really is. It'll throw you off balance. That's what the enemy wants. He doesn't like to see people emotionally regulated and balanced. He can't stand that. But chosen one, that's too bad because God is in full control. The enemy cannot succeed because Jesus defeated him already on our behalf. You see? And all he has is head game. And so that's what radio frequency is used for also. It's play head game. So where do the head games come from? The hallucination. So the narcissists also play head games. That's not a coincidence. It's like they're programmed to play head games. And there's several ways that they do that. Playing head games, future faking, right? I got a video on this YouTube channel that we did about that. About, right, the narcissist and their head games or their mind games. That's what's in the title. And so just remember that they can't manipulate but to an extent. You see, God is always in full control, no matter what. And chosen ones are divinely protected by God. Glory be to God. But we have to learn about these things if we want to live healthier lives and to combat that radio frequency to do so. Because see, the enemy, I'm not the only one that knows this stuff. No. I am not the only one that knows this. Of course, the enemy knows what he's doing with the radio frequency. Think about it. Why do you think the motto for most social media sites is these sites want content that will keep people on them for long periods of time? What did that expose you to? More radio frequency. So my tip for y'all on this is that, yeah, we want you to consume some content to get the education and God's wisdom, but be mindful of how much time you're spending on that site, because just like anything in life, that video can wait till tomorrow if you need to take a from RF exposure. That post can wait till tomorrow if you need a break. Some people call it social media detox. Well, that's part of it. And so that's what we're doing too. I'm still getting up here and checking some of y'all's content out. Yeah. But when you don't see us as active on a particular platform, that means we're taking a social media detox break. Because we're still working and putting stuff up. We're still getting up here and going live. So we got to find that balance. Because we need to detox too. So when God revealed to me the similarities, how narcissists and radio frequency, it's not a coincidence. Because what I've come to realize is that when we are radiating, then that means we are transmitting as well when we come in contact with others. And then they to us. That's that mirroring effect. And so Real Talk with God's Wisdom video number 6 and 7 available on the website. Downloadable for on up to 3 devices for that one low price. And you will learn more about. And in number 6, you're going to learn about, hold up a second. Let me pull something up. Number 7 is the mirroring effect. And number 6 is how radio frequency plays both sides. What that means is that radio frequency, it drains us of energy, but it can also energize us. That's where the addictive component comes in, that's similar to narcissism. Because if we are constantly drained, it could lead to a dependency on external stimuli, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to develop that addiction at all, because that's just going to expose us to more frequency. Sure, it's okay to listen to a song you like here and there and stuff like that in the car while you're doing whatever, going to the store, what have you, but it's important to give yourself a break too, because all of that is also frequency. So it's it's all around us, I know. But that's why I said that there is no 100% solution. Even the article that I found about that tells us that really the only way to mitigate or to lessen the negative effect is to reduce your exposure to it when you can. Because that is the number one step in the How to Detox from Trauma Nutrition course at CHA Academy, btbw.com. And so, yes, it's Vaseline treatment time. All right. Yeah, we smooth. We riding smooth. But I wanted to tell y'all that, the similarities between narcissist and radio frequency behaviors, it's becoming more apparent the more I study and the more research I do and the more I experience personally. Because I'm like, hold up, where's that coming from? So as I was alluding to earlier, just today, because we have to do what's called process of elimination. because we have to get down to the nitty gritty. Like where's every bit of it coming from? So we know that salt molecules and toxins and stuff like that are spread through the air as well, right? And we also know that we've got a countertop over here that is marble, but it's got little gold thingies in it. Because when I run my hand, even after cleaning it and it dries, right, I run my hand across, I feel the salty grit that over time, because they will magnetize to each other, and it'll form something large enough to where if we have enough radiation inside of us to activate that thing, the ANF will hallucinate. More about that on the Patreon channel. But today, because I'm paying attention to, okay, so where do we need some extra self-care, here or there? Because every time I feel a surge, I know that that was just a small dose of radio frequency coming from somewhere. So I'm good to go this morning, right? I'm like, okay, everything's good to go. We're doing the daily self-check-in. We put our armor of God on, thanking Him for another day. We got our intermittent fasting grazing tray replenished. And we had a nice sandwich plate side breakfast. There's a tip for somebody, knowing our portion. And because, while you've got that going on, detoxing, it can be difficult to tell when you are full, satisfied. So God has me doing this, and then we're watching our portion. And I'm finding out that I don't even finish. There were still maybe 3 bites left on that plate this morning. And I'm like, I'm fine. I don't think I need any more. Because I'm starting to be able to, by doing this, we're starting to be able to tell, okay, we can stop eating now. We're satisfied. So, and then grazing throughout the rest of the day. So He's allowing me a small meal, either in the morning or for dinner, but on that plate. And then the rest of the time it's grazing. And water, yes, water. And then, of course, taking the necessary supplements as needed. Okay? Oh, yeah, God revealed to me that the supplements are not going to be as effective either if we're constantly exposed to radio frequency in higher doses. So that explains the BOGOs on some supplement. Think about it, y'all. They get you to buy one, get one. Buy one, get one half off. Not only just to sell you more, but because the enemy knows it's going to take more than that one to be effective because of the radio frequency exposure. Makes sense? And how did I come to that? Because I've been on a supplement regimen now for a couple of weeks. And since starting the intermittent fasting thingy, I'm now starting to notice the benefits. And I'm like, okay, over the last couple of days. And so God revealed that to me. I went, aha, that's the other thing they do on the world stage, to get people to buy more than they really need. However, if you have a circumstance that's similar to mine, that's not normal at all, go for it. Because you're going to need a couple rounds of that. And God will tell us to up the ante. In other words, I have to take double what it suggests for me to take because of my situation and what we went through. Because over time, that radio frequency will deplete your body of necessary nutrients, especially calcium and vitamin D and potassium, magnesium, all that stuff. It will. So we want to be mindful of that. That's what the enemy wants, right? Exactly. All right. So like I said, I just wanted to get on here and talk a little bit about that today for you all. because it's not a coincidence that they are the narcissist and radio frequency. What it does and the similarities between the two. It makes sense because, well, they're radiating it and they're perfectly programmed because radio frequency is used for the mind control and then also to manipulate our ANS. All for trauma bonding to the world because that's what happened to us first. So that's another reason why the Jezebel case study tried to do what she did, because trying to get my ANS trauma bonded to the world again. Nice try. all that did was just make me more aware. And now I'm bringing that awareness to y'all. You see how God flips what the enemy dishes out for his glory. And he's like, yeah. He says, I'm not going to have you ignorant to the enemy devices. And this is all part of getting that God's wisdom because we got to be aware so we know what to do about it. And we know where the sources of frequency were coming from. So, as I was alluding to earlier today, I'm standing here just fine. And right outside the door is the landscaping crew with the blower at around 11-ish, somewhere in there. Because I'm working on another project for y'all, for the Patreon channel. And I'm just minding my own. No surging going on whatsoever. As soon as they got right next, I felt the surge in my calves. Yeah, I felt the surge in my calf. So that low frequency activates whatever's still in there. But see, what that does for me is it just lets me know. Exactly. It lets me know where a little more self-care is needed. Meaning ice packing, massaging a little bit. Not a deep tissue massage. Just a little rubbing, showing them a little love. That's all. So take better care of ourselves, chosen one. Because we got to. Because we now know that a good portion of that out there is going to lie to us. Going to try to tell us that we have something wrong with us when all it is radio frequency. It's a radio frequency symptom. It's a lack of oxygen getting to a certain area of the body. Because that's what the enemy wants. The enemy doesn't want you to get oxygen to the brain. Because once you can start getting adequate oxygen to the brain, you get this heightened awareness, you get more clarity, you can see things as they really are. You can start to pick up on this small stuff that I'm picking up on, how the body uses the salt on the inside of our body as a weapon against us with that radio frequency. So there you go. All right, everybody, don't hesitate to reach out if you've got any questions about all of that. Okay, yeah. If you leave it in the chat on the replay, I will get to it as soon as possible. All right, and I wish you all the best of the rest. And yeah, and keep going. Okay, keep going, keep healing, keep showing up and showing out. Because God is going to level you up when he sees you ready. I say that a lot for a reason because it's true. When he sees you ready. And by the way, I know I'm getting inundated. Well, remember what time of year it is, right? It's tax season time, right? Well, let me go ahead and clue some spammers and narcissists in on something. For many entrepreneurs, we're not the best target. Because if you think we're getting a refund, you got to think again. That's right. That's all right, Chris. Yes, you'll catch on the replay. I know. I've got to wrap this one up though for today. It's a shorter one, and but yes, you'll catch the connection between the narcissist and radio frequency, and you'll also learn that Real Talk videos number 6 and 7 are now available on the website to tell you more about how RF plays both sides by draining and re-energizing, and then how it also mirrors, okay, the mirroring effect. It's like the narcissist mirroring our empathy back to us. Oh, so I had to break those two things up into two separate videos because, yeah, they're roughly around 20 minutes each and downloadable for just $20 on up to 3 devices. And for whoever else is interested, yeah, these Real Talk with God's Wisdom videos on the website are for you. And don't forget about external hard drive that you can store them on. Okay, so if you're worried about device storage, well, they're problem solved. Okay, so when you can get yourself an external hard drive, okay, with however much storage you think you're going to need, there you go. You can put them suckers right on there. All right. So again, I'll get to any questions you all have as soon as I can. Take care of yourself. Okay, remember, taking care of the temple for the Holy Spirit is all about that, combating the RF for healthier living, because that's what we got to do. Okay, everybody, I am Michelle Dickey, your host for CHA's Let's Just Chat show, streaming on the YouTube channel Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance, where trauma healing and spiritual growth are front and center while combating radio frequency for healthier living. Sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your support. Till next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father, and you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.